welcome to an exile. Bill Maher, we followed his career forever. I don't know if I ever laughed at anything he said. I'm trying to find some jokes I find kind of funny. Overall, I don't find his humor that funny. And of course, I disagree with his politics, but I always find him interesting in that he's trying to find a common ground with reason and logic. He gets so close, he can't quite do it. So I always found him like a tragic figure.
I don't say the things that please people all the time, but that's my ultimate bond with the audience. When I lose people, it's like, okay, well, you were never meant to be with me in the first place.
Yeah.
We can't have a relationship.
There are a whole lot of people who are just conditioned to only wanting to hear one side of the story.
Correct. They do not want to hear the other side.
Now, this is true of our culture, is that in general, we're all being conditioned to not hear the other side. I don't know if this is true for liberals and conservatives. I mostly see it almost entirely from liberals because that's where I live, in Hollywood, and even here on YouTube and on Twitter. The monothink among liberals, it is shocking and scary to me how much they are all the same opinion, literally using the same words to a point that I assume that they're bots on Twitter. I assume they're a program, and they keep reaching out to me saying, no, this is me. And they all repeat the same thing and think they're saying something original. I'll get into this more when I cover Scott Adams. That's not going to be in this show, but in another episode, I'll hit him up. Here's more Bill Maher.
So every year I read these packets of proposed writers, and I read them this year as I do every year, and it's just stunning how uniform their points of view are.
And it hasn't always been that way.
I don't remember, but I don't think it was ever quite this bad. It's the exact same point of view on every single issue.
Now, they're being generic here, saying it's shocking, these writers, they all have the same point of view. The writers that are sending in resumes, they're not talking about writers on the right. There are no writers on the right trying to get onto Bill Maher's show. These are all writers from the left. These are writers, and they all have the same lefty groupthink. They're being kind, trying not to be divisive. I am being divisive and accusatory. This is not about writers. This is about leftist writers. They're all the same.
He's running.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think he's going to get the nomination, and do you think he can beat Joe Biden?
Both.
But both you think affirmatively, or you both think they could happen?
Well, first of all, it might not be Joe Biden. I think if it's Biden against Trump, Biden will win.
So I just wanted to give you a mainstream leftist opinion that they believe that Biden can win. I mean, he's saying that pretty soberly. Doesn't make him right. Obviously everyone's just guessing here. But I do see more and more that the left is more afraid of DeSantis running than of Trump running. And I'm only saying that influences me a little bit. I still believe Trump can win. I think DeSantis has a better shot than Trump at the general election, and I don't know that either. But here's a guy straight-faced going, if it's Biden against Trump, he believes Biden's going to win. Bill Maher's almost worried that Biden won't run, and if it's Trump against someone else, Trump might have a better chance of winning. That's how strong he thinks Biden is.
So it could look bad, but I think if it's Trump against Biden, I think Biden will win. But
what if it's not
Biden? I don't know.
See, he thinks Biden is the strongest candidate. I'm just letting you guys know, mainstream liberals think that Biden is their best candidate, and they think Trump is their best shot at beating the Republicans.
I would categorize liberal as different than woke. Woke, which started out as a good thing, alert to injustice, who could be against that. But it became sort of an eye roll because they love diversity except of ideas.
Oh, yes, we went into this with Karine Jean-Pierre, that they list their credentials as a black, gay, lesbian, or Pete Buttigieg as, a gay guy. That is not telling me anything about how well you can do your job. And they will never have a diversity of opinion. They cannot have a diversity of opinion at a university They can't have a diversity of opinion in a Hollywood writing room, can't have a diversity opinion at a video game company. When they say diversity, equity, and inclusion, they always mean one form of thinking. And all of the diversity will be externals: skin color, sexual identity, whatever. So that's the big difference between the right and the left, in my view, is we want a diversity of opinion.
And that's not really where we should be. I mean, they have a trail of very bad ideas, I would think, in wokeness. Like,
How do you define wokeness? Because I hear people use the term all the time, and it means something different to everybody.
well,
This is Jake Tapper being incredibly dishonest. He knows the definition of wokeness, but I see all liberals post on my Twitter feed define wokeness as if it's some big gotcha, like it's just a catch-all word and no one really knows what it means. We know exactly what wokeness means. Tapper knows exactly what wokeness means. He's only asking Bill Maher because he was programmed to by the woke.
again, I think it's this collection of ideas that are not building on liberalism, but very often undoing it. I mean, 5 years ago, Abraham Lincoln was not a controversial figure among liberals. We liked him.
The first Republican, first great Republican.
Now they take his name off schools and tear down his statues. Really? Lincoln isn't good enough for you? 5-10 years ago, bedrock liberalism was we are striving to be a colorblind society where we don't see race. Of course, we see it, but it doesn't matter. That's not what woke is.
Yeah, in short, wokeism is racism. They are pro looking at the color of their skin over the content of their character. They are destroying Martin Luther King's dream. And if you want to be like Martin Luther King, you can find it only on the Republican Party. That is, and it's called racist. If you say, I judge people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin, that is considered racist. Even Martin Luther King would be canceled today by the woke left.
This is where they live. It's like, again, you change the definitions and then you say, I'm more conservative. I believe what I've always believed. You change these things and then you yell at me for it.
Welcome to being old, Bill Maher. We're just holding on to, my values haven't changed in 2,000 years. I've got, my kids come in, they're like going, your beliefs. Like, my beliefs are the same. This new person comes into my house, a youth, it might be a teen, and now you have these different values. Well, your culture made up these values 15 minutes ago. They're brand new, and they will not stand the test of time. But Bill Maher, welcome. Welcome. The best thing about creating right-wing conservatives is woke leftism, man. If you've got a brain rolling around in your head, come on over. I'm Doug in Exile.